Betett, neki, válság. And that means he took the crisis hard. Like it bothered him a lot. But, and let's check my spelling and let's listen.
Betett neki a válság.
Okay. Uh, and here the tesz is past tense, so it went into him, to him. So to him, it hit him hard. I guess in English, that's how we would say it. He was hit hard by the crisis. And válság means crisis. And it's an interesting word. It has the root val, which means a separation. So val, um, I don't know if there's a word val. I'll look it up in a second. But the I know válik. Let's use válik. So it's an ikish verb, right? Válik. So that means to separate. Separate. And so a crisis is something that separates, if your life will be forever different after a crisis. So let's look up that word, válság. It's a moment, a defining moment in your life is a crisis. So válik and ság, crisis. And so when we look up válik, um, so to turn into something, to become something, to divorce, or to separate. And that's interesting that when something becomes something, it's separating from something. I think it's an interesting take on creation or growing up or maturing is that you become something different. You part, you leave the nest. It can also mean to improve or to enhance. So while one a pessimist might say separation is a bad thing, maybe an optimist might say, well, this is can germinate good things out of the destruction. Ah, and here I thought it was an ikish verb, but here it's saying it's not an ikish verb. It's a pseudo-ik verb. Okay? And it's not an ik verb in any other aspect. So válik shows in the third person. However, you don't have the word válom. You only have válok. A true ikish verb would have válom. So as a result, it cannot take the ending in the first person singular. It can only take ok. And it's also saying it can't take it in the subjunctive, so you can't say valyum. You have to say valyok. Okay. I guess with an ikish verb, it's not just the present tense, but they're saying that the subjunctive and the conditional. Here they say or valnam. Let's go look at an ikish verb. So let's think of an ikish verb. Látszik, I think is an ikish verb. Okay, so conjugation. So you see how it's om. No, I guess here it's an So I don't know what it was saying that the subjunctive, because even in an ikish verb, the subjunctive doesn't have a m ending. Bűzlik. Bűzlök. Ah, so this is not an ikish verb. You can see that right here. I don't know why. Okay, esik is an ikish verb, though it's kind of irregular. Let's look at its subjunctive. So yeah, see, this subjunctive could have an M, and conditional also could have an aim. Okay, interesting. So some other words that have val in it. I'm trying to think. Val, like when you have a, what do you call it? A variety of things. It's called a valistake. That has a val root in it. Let's go look at that. Valistake. Valistake. Valast, which means to choose. So it's giving somebody a selection or a variety of something. And valast comes from valik and ast, which is a causative, similar to ot. Remember tet, that suffix? These are all causative suffixes. So you have ast, you have ot, et, tot, tet, oit, ate, eat, deet. These are all causative. So let's put ballast as a choice. Actually, it's to choose. So that's the verb. And ballast, stake is the noun, right? So ballast, let's go back to it. Ballast is the verb. No, and it can also be a noun. So, oh, if it's accusative. So a ballast is an answer. So that's also related to val. So Valast is the verb, and then the valastash is the choice, or valastake is a choice or a selection. So they're both mean choice. It can also be an election. So let's also put valast is a choice, to choose, and valastash, valastash is a choice or an election. And then valastake, valastake is a choice or a selection. And then we have valas, valas, which is answer, which is a verb. No, it's a noun. Hang on, let's go back to valas. I think it can, yeah, that's valast here is a noun, and valasol is the verb. So answer as a verb. Okay, so you see how this val, um, and there's a lot more words that come from it. Uh, Let me just look at a couple more because some of these are pretty interesting. Valik. Valik does mean to leave or to depart. Here we have the separate, to stand out. Kivalik, but we have valt means to change, and that's a verb. So here the causative suffix here is also t, and it means to replace, exchange. So let's look at that. And then we have a lot of words that, um, válság. How in the world did válság turn into ransom? I guess you're exchanging a kidnap victim for money. I don't know. Valt. All right. So we could find many words that have val as their root. So valt means change as a verb. And then These are just a few of these words. Okay, let's go on to another card. Let me just listen to it one more time.
Betett neki a válság.